Hello and a very good morning to all News9 viewers. I'm Neha Bhan. Let's take a look at some of the top national and international stories of this hour. We begin with the Uttarkashi tunnel rescue operation has now entered 15th day. Now, in the latest update, the Indian Air Force, in fact, has already arrived at, they've made sure that all the rescue material is being brought to the site so that these in fact, workers are rescued as soon as possible. They have flown in critical DRDO made equipment to Dehradun. From here, the equipment will be taken to the tunnel site. The rescue authorities are also trying to remove the auger machine which got stuck inside the tunnel after its blades were damaged. Horizontal drilling operations have been suspended till the time the auger machine is removed from the tunnel. Plasma cutter machine has been brought in to clear the debris from inside the tunnel while work is on to get the auger machine removed from the tunnel. Manual drilling will be considered once the auger machine is removed. Authorities are also thinking of other options to complete the rescue. A big drilling machine was seen to be taken to the point from where vertical drilling is being considered, but this option is also not that easy as a lot of muck has fallen below. With several options and rescue plans being considered, officials have refrained from giving any time frame within which the rescue mission could be completed. They have expressed hope for a positive outcome once the manual drilling inside the tunnel starts. My colleague Nivriti Mohan joins us live from Uttarkashi to, in fact, share with us all the details from the site. Nivriti, a very good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Now, we're learning that the rescue operation is currently suspended. What's the latest from the site that you could really share with us? How long are the authorities saying that, it'll take to reach the trapped workers?
See, as you know, Neha, that the drilling has stopped right now inside the tunnel from the tunnel face option. This was the first option that the authorities were thinking that it is the most promising option, and they were putting their entire effort into this thing. But as you know, right now, the drilling machines, that is the auger machine, is stuck inside the tunnel. It is stuck, so the work has also stalled here. But right now, to cut the machine from the tunnel and pull it back from there, the plasma cutter has arrived in Dehradun. IAF has brought it up to there. But from there, it has yet to reach to the site. And as soon as it reaches, the stuck part of the auger machine will be cut. And also the pipe through which the part of the auger machine has went inside the tunnel is going inside the tunnel. That part of the pipe has also to be cut, because a pipe has also bent. Unless and until the pipe is not cut, the auger machine, it will be difficult for the workers to pull out the auger machine. So they are trying it very hard that the obstruction that has come is resolved and it is taken away. Now, after all this is cleared, they are planning to do it manually now. Yesterday, Chief Minister did a press conference, and he told the reporters, the media who present here, that almost 20 meters of the machine, they had drilled up to 47, 48 meters, as you know. So the drill machine, the auger machine, had gone inside up to that particular point, up to 45 or 46 or 47 meters. Now what he has told the media is that 20 meters of it has been pulled out, and more than 25 meters is still remaining inside, which is stuck inside. And they tried very hard to pull it out, but they were not successful. So now the special equipment, that is the plasma cutter, is being flown into Uttarkashi to the site, and now it will be used to cut that part of the auger machine which is cut. And after it is done, then only the rescue operation from this particular side can resume. But now what has happened is they are also exploring other options, and various studies are being done for all the options, but the most promising option right now is the vertical option, where they are trying to drill vertically. We could see machines were taken to the vertical drilling point, and they have also created a platform there. It's already created where the drilling machine will be fixed, and then they will start doing it. But right now I can show you, we are at the point where you can see a helipad which has been built specially for the rescue operation, so that the necessary equipments required urgently could be directly airlifted to this point. And from here it is not more than 6 to 7 kilometers to the accident site. So everything which is required is flown here, and then it is taken to the point where the accident has happened. So this helipad is also created so that if when the workers are rescued and they require immediate medical attention, and the medical facility here is not sufficient for them to be treated, so through this helipad they will be airlifted to AIMS in Rishikesh, but that is after they are rescued, and they are really trying hard to rescue them. And you can see the ambulances here. So all the ambulances are ready. Around 40 to 41 ambulances are ready here. Some of them are parked here because of the parking facility is not available at the spot, and many ambulances still are there at spot, so that anytime the workers are rescued, they can be immediately driven to the medical facility, the 41 bed medical facility in Chinyali-Sor. So these are the arrangements that have been made after the workers are rescued. But right now it doesn't seem that it is happening very soon. It is going to take time, because as you know, the auger machine is stuck inside, and this was the option that was the fastest option, because the distance was also very less. They had to dig just 40 to 50 meters. Now if this option doesn't work, they will drill vertically, and for vertical drilling they have to cover at least 80 to 100 meters of distance, which is almost double the distance that they had to cover horizontally from the front end of the front side of the tunnel. The other option which they will be exploring, is from the other Boycotts end of the tunnel. Now from that end also the distance is quite large. It is around 400 to 500 meters. It is that part of the tunnel which wasn't yet complete. They had to dig that part of the tunnel. Otherwise, out of 4.5 kilometers of tunnel, 4 kilometers they have already made. Only 400 to 500 meters was remaining. So that is their third option, which they are exploring, but the distance is 400 meters. You can understand 400 meters is almost 5-6 times the distance that they had to cover from the Silkyara end, which they were exploring right now. So difficulties are increasing, of course. It won't be very easy for them, and you cannot expect them to act fast if they explore other options, because there are own dangers in each option. When you explore each option has its own dangers and risks involved in it. So if we consider the option which is vertical drilling option, I have again and repeatedly told on this that if there are aquifers inside, they find aquifers inside, some source of water inside, then it will be risky. Neha, as you know, they have already been doing horizontal drilling from the Silkyara face end of the tunnel. So because the soil is continuously falling from there, so there must be some cavity formed above the tunnel. So 40 meters, 50 meters cavity can be there. So while you drill, the soil below is already loose, So drilling vertically is also not going to be very easy because soil below was loose earlier also, that is why it fell. But after it fell, now it has become more fragile. So drilling vertically is also not very easy. And if there is aquifer inside, then it will increase the risk. So what they will be doing, they will be inserting a small pipe, 6 inches pipe, to find out if there is any danger inside, if there is any aquifer, or how much is the cavity that has been created by falling of the soil below. So all this has to be investigated, and if everything goes well and they find that everything is all right, then only they can proceed with a bigger pipe that will be inserted vertically to where the laborers are there, the workers are there inside the tunnel. And it will take time. As I told you, it is 80 to 100 meters above the tunnel, and the distance that they were covering right now was only 60 meters, which they had almost completed, but because of obstructions they could not complete it. So drilling vertically would be almost double the distance they have to cover. And if they go from the backside of the tunnel, it will take more time, because they have to dig 500 meters horizontally into the tunnel. So it is going to take a lot of time, though they won't find any metal obstructions if they dig from the backside of the tunnel, because the thing that has fallen, the metal girders, the pipes, the roof of the tunnel that has fallen is on the Silkyara end of the tunnel. So sometimes I think that why did not they try the back side of the tunnel, because they knew that the auger machine, all the things that the auger machine needs to drill is mud, rocks, if it comes in its way. So on the Boycott end it would have been longer, but it would have been a little easier for the auger machine, because it would not have faced any metal obstructions. But because on the Silkyara side, after 200 meters from the Silkyara side, for 60 meters it has fallen, and all this for all 60 meters the roof of the tunnel fell, and it had girders, it had pipes, and as far as I can imagine, it must be there for the entire 60 meters of distance. So that is why they are facing it time and again. The metallic hurdles are coming in front of the machine time and again, and which is just wasting the time of the laborers, and it is delaying the rescue operation as well, though the distance is smaller, much more smaller, but because of these metallic obstructions it is getting delayed.
Right.
So what they have to do is, why is it getting delayed? That is also interesting to know. If we have time I can tell. So what is happening is, once you put the auger machine inside, you have put some pipes through which workers will be coming out. Okay, one by one you are putting pipes. There are of diameter 900 pipes, diameter 800 mm pipes, then 700 mm pipes. So you are putting it one by one, and when you put it, what you do is you put auger machine through the pipes, and then then the auger machine drills the muck ahead, and it pulls the soil out of the tunnel that is made of these pipes. Now what is happening, where once it gets some obstruction in its way, in the form of some metallic pipes or girders, then the entire auger machine has to be pulled out. So it takes around 1.5 hours to 2 hours to pull it back. Then once it is pulled back, then some laborer has to go inside, and then he has to cut the metallic pieces with the gas cutter or whatever machine he has got with him. So he cuts it manually. It takes 2 or 3 hours, or sometimes more than that, for cutting the entire metal thing. And sometimes because the pipes were also bent, so he has to cut entire 900 meter or an 800 meter pipe. So it takes 4 to 5 hours, then he comes back. Then again the auger machine is aligned and put back. It takes another 2 hours. And then again the work starts, the drilling work starts. And if it encounters obstruction again, if it is a metallic obstruction, then the entire process is to be repeated. That is why it is getting delayed. And for the last 4 or 5 days since I'm here, the auger machine has encountered such obstructions for 3 times now. So 3 times and almost 3 days. So this is what is happening right now. This is how it is getting delayed, and this is how laborers are, workers stuck inside have to wait for them to be rescued. Everybody is waiting for them to be rescued, be it the workers who are stranded inside, be it the authorities who are working day and night, be it the workers who are also working day and night and risking their lives, although they are on this side of the tunnel, which is open, but still they are going inside and they are working. Think about the person who is going inside the pipeline to cut those struck metallic pieces. So he is always at risk. He goes inside and he cannot cut it at a one go, because he's going deep inside, say some 40 meters, 50 meters, and when he uses the gas cutter or the welding machine, when the pipes are welded, so it generates smoke, and there is no place where the smoke can come out. So he has to cut for some time, and then he has to come out. And then again he has to go inside, and then again he starts cutting, and when the smoke is created and it is unable for him to breathe, then he comes out, and then so this process goes on. So it is very difficult for everyone who is working out there, and it is difficult for authorities, and I don't know how the workers are working. It is one of the most difficult rescue operations I have covered until now.
Right. Nivriti, do stay with us. In fact, let's quickly also show our viewers what is it that Pushkar Dhami, the Uttarakhand Chief Minister, had to say about the rescue operation, and also a couple of other reactions that are coming in.
जो कटर है हमारा प्लाज्मा कटर, वो शाम तक पहुंचेगा। अभी क्या है कि हम लगभग 1 घंटे में 1.5 मीटर काट पा रहे हैं, और उसके आने के बाद 1 घंटे में हम 4 मीटर लगभग काट पाएंगे। तो उससे बहुत आसानी से जल्दी जो है हमारा ये 30 मीटर जो बचा हुआ है, वो हमको लगता है कि 7-8 घंटे में कट जाएगा। उसके कटते ही मैनुअली अंदर जाएंगे, और 1 मीटर 1 घंटे का मैनुअली जो है उसको करने के बाद उसको पाइप को पुश करने का काम शुरू होगा। तो ये मान के चलिए कि जल्दी से जल्दी हो, अगर कोई हर्डल ना आए, जिस प्रकार से आप लोग सहयोग बनाए हुए हैं उसको हम लोग देखिए, ऐसा है, हम लोग क्योंकि ऐसे स्थान पर हैं कि यहाँ से हमारे सबके बीच में अगर सकारात्मक भाव रहेगा तो आवाज अंदर तक जाएगी।
The plasma machine, we're still cutting the auger to get the screw out. There's about 16 meters more of auger to cut. We're getting about 1 meter an hour at the moment. So
it is reached yet?
I don't know yet at the moment. We don't know if it's reached, but we're setting up a second tunnel at the moment. So beneficial is that it'll cut the steel faster. So at the moment we're using argon cutter. The plasma machine is a lot hotter, cuts the steel much faster.
कल से कुछ थोड़ी और ज्यादा अड़पड़ें आ गई हैं कि जो ऑगर जिसके ऊपर अभी तक पूरा दारोमदार था, जिसपे ज्यादा फोकस था हमारा कि ये जो हॉरिजॉन्टल एक्सेस हम बना रहे थे सीएलएसआर की तरफ से, जो सिल्कयार की तरफ से जो हम कोशिश कर रहे थे अंदर जाने की, मलबे के अंदर 62 मीटर 63 मीटर, वो जो अप्रोच है उसके अंदर कुछ बाधाएं आ गई हैं अब। और ऑगर जो है, जो अच्छा काम कर रहा था अभी तक और तकरीबन 47 मीटर तक चला गया था, उसमें कुछ टूट पड़ी, आगे के हिस्से में कुछ टूट पड़ी, कुछ हिस्सा तो बाहर निकालना पड़ा, निकालने में सक्सेसफुल हो गए, मगर कुछ जो टूटा उसका हिस्सा था वो अंदर रह गया, और उसको धीरे धीरे निकालने की कोशिश की मगर नहीं उसके अंदर सक्सेसफुल रहे। उसको काट के अब निकालना पड़ रहा है और काटने के लिए काफी सोफिस्टिकेटेड, आप समझिए एडवांस्ड मशीनरी जो है वो चाहिए। वो मशीनरी भी अब इंडियन एयरफोर्स ने अलग जगह से एयरलिफ्ट की है और उसको वहां पर पहुंचाने की अभी कोशिश हो रही है। मशीनरी शायद आप लोगों ने देखा भी होगा, कुछ उसके वीडियो के वो भी आ रहे थे, झलकियां आ रही थी उसकी। उस मशीनरी को ऊपर ले जाने में काफी सक्सेसफुल हो गए हैं। वहां पर पहले से प्लिंथ बना हुआ है, अब उसको प्लेसमेंट करने का जो है पूरा अभियान चलेगा। वो एक दफे प्लेस हो जाएगी तो ऊपर से खुदाई भी फिर शुरू हो सकती है। इसका जो डायमेंशन होगा वो तकरीबन 1.2 मीटर 1200 मिलीमीटर जो है वो इससे भी बड़ा होगा, क्योंकि ये तो 900 मिलीमीटर है, वो 1200 मिलीमीटर मगर ऊपर से नीचे होगा। 86 मीटर 86 मीटर का की डेप्थ तक इसको जाना पड़ेगा और फिर नीचे जो टनल का क्रस्ट है जो अभी गिरा हुआ है, यहां पर 62 मीटर जो गिरा हुआ है, उस क्रस्ट को एनकाउंटर करेंगे, उसको तोड़ना पड़ेगा और फिर उसके अंदर जाना पड़ेगा। तो ये इसमें भी थोड़ा वक्त लगेगा।
Right, thank you very much, Nivriti, for joining us with all of those details. Now, moving on, at least 4 students died and over 60 were injured in a stampede situation at a concert in Kochi University of Science and Technology on Saturday. Kerala Health Minister Veena George said the injured students were taken to the Kalamassery Medical College. The Vice-Chancellor of the university said the stampede took place when it started raining. He said the students from other colleges also attended the event and the stampede occurred on the stairs with almost 2,000 people inside. Let's take a look what went wrong that caused this unfortunate incident. Now, the incident took place during Nikita Gandhi's music concert. Sudden rains caused people to rush for shelter. Entry to the program was reserved only for ticket holders, but it is reported that a lot of local residents without tickets were also let in, leading to massive overcrowding. Kerala authorities are looking into the matter and our thorough search, in fact, is also underway.
This is a shocking incident. We lost three students and one outsider in this incident. It's about him. First, this is happened in Kerala first time. It's an unexpected thing. Now, both of us were in Calicut. We came here. We visited all the patients in the ward. 2 patients are in the ICU. 2 students are in the ICU of another hospital, Aster. 2 persons, 1 student and an outsider at the Kinder Hospital. 2 who are in the ICU of Aster Hospital, their condition is a little critical. We are trying our best to give the best treatment to them. The government has taken all steps to coordinate all these activities. Police taken the rescue operations whenever they got the information, and the health minister directly involved in this coordinating all treatment facilities, not only in the medical colleges but in the private hospitals also. We have decided to conduct a comprehensive inquiry with regard to this incident. On the basis of that inquiry, we can reach a conclusion. This is not the right time to get any conclusions. In the preliminary, the higher education minister is here. The university has conducted a preliminary inquiry, and they have decided to conduct this inquiry by the syndicate subcommittee. And the chief minister today, just after this incident, we have convened a cabinet meeting at Calicut. Then chief minister has mentioned that a comprehensive inquiry will be done by the government.
You know that it was an unfortunate thing. 46 persons were hospitalized, 4 died, and initial stage 4 students were very serious. Now 2 patients now in a comfortable position, stable position. Other 2 admitted in the Aster Medicity is very critical, and all the bodies were identified and informed the relatives. So tonight itself, the police inquest will be taken immediately, and tomorrow morning 7 o'clock the postmortem will take place. All other arrangements has been made by the hospital and the district authorities and the people's representatives. It was a stampede. It was a small place that was not enough to accommodate this much of students. Since it was a music program, not only the students from the university campus, but many students from outside, many students and others outside participated in this. Then when the rain came, somebody was pushed and opened the gate, and it was just like a stadium, steps, and they fell down from the steps itself. That's why it was very severe.
So it is suspected that, there was a college arts function being held by the School of Engineering. We were having a music program. The invitees were asked to come in a particular black t-shirt. This is what we understood. We have not confirmed, in black t-shirts. And their own volunteers were actually allowing them by verifying and all these things. Suddenly, it is, some of the people have said that there was sudden rain, and people who are on the sides try to get inside because only the cover is inside that. It's a freak incident. So suddenly people who are in the step side, they fell together. They fell down, and people walked over them, and they got. This auditorium has a capacity of 1,000, maybe 1,500 people. It was not even half filled. Not even half filled. It was khali. There were people all along the sides, and the organizers were allowing them inside, in batch or something like that, based on identity. It is said by some of the eyewitnesses that the sudden rain, they tried to get inside because the cover is already there. That pushed the people who are on the edge of the, the steps, and they fall down. And it appears to be a freak incident.
Now, today marks the 15th anniversary of the horrific 26/11 terror attacks in Mumbai. The whole nation is paying tribute to the fallen heroes who laid down their lives defending the nation. Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde and Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis solemnly honoured the fallen at the police headquarters. 15 years have passed since 10 terrorists from Pakistan landed in Mumbai, using the sea route and opened fire at iconic places like the Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminal Station, the Oberoi Hotel, the Leopold Cafe and the Taj Hotel. The operation to neutralize the terrorists took about 3 days, and the supreme sacrifice of several officers of the Mumbai police and several other Indian security forces. Israel's ambassador to India, Neor Gilon, pays tribute to the heroes who lost their lives as well.
First of all, it's a horrendous phenomena when people come into your safe haven, to your houses in Mumbai, to disrupt their life, to create panic. They wanted panic. They wanted to transmit it. Exactly like Hamas. Their aim is not only to kill, it's also to create panic with the surviving, to make them afraid. And we are telling the Indians, like India is always standing with Israel, and especially recently, but always, since I'm here more than 2 years, India, on most occasions, especially when we need India, India is on our side. That's the feeling. And Indians have to know we are on your side. When you come to fight terrorism, there is no if and no buts. We are working together. We will eliminate the terrorists. As Prime Minister Modi also said, rightly so, that terror is a global phenomenon. You have to join hands globally. Countries, free people of the world have to join hands and efforts in order to fight it. And I think that India and Israel, we demonstrate in our actions and friendship and what we do together, the joining of these hands to eliminate terrorism.
Let's now get you the latest from the Israel-Hamas war front.
The following content may contain visuals that are disturbing, graphic, or sensitive in nature. Viewer discretion is advised. This material is intended for mature audiences and may not be suitable for all viewers. Please exercise caution while watching, and if you find such content distressing, we recommend discontinuing viewing. This disclaimer is provided to ensure awareness and to prioritize viewer well-being.
The war between Israel and Hamas has now entered its 51st day. Let's get you the latest update right on your screens. Second batch of hostages. 13 Israelis and 4 Thai nationals have been released by Hamas and they arrived in Israel. Israel has freed 39 Palestinians, including 6 women and 33 minors. Israeli troops have killed 6 Palestinians in the occupied West Bank. Hamas has threatened to delay next hostage release over Gaza aid dispute. Talking about the death toll now, 14,854 Palestinians, including 6,150 children, have been killed in the war so far.
Welcome.
Now, right on your screens are the visuals of these hostages who were released by, in fact, Hamas. And they have arrived in Israel. 13 Israelis and 4 Thai nationals were released by the Hamas. They arrived in Israel. Now, Hamas handed over 13 Israeli hostages and 4 foreigners to the International Committee of the Red Cross on Saturday night. Qatar's foreign ministry said after a brief disruption earlier to the deal to free captives was overcome with the mediation of Qatar and Egypt. Tension continued into the night outside Israel's Ofer military jail at the Bitunia crossing near Ramallah in the West Bank on Saturday, where gunfire was heard before a wounded person was taken away by medics. Earlier, 3 people were reportedly injured by live bullets, according to the Palestine Red Crescent Society. The jail was the scene of Friday's handover of Palestinian prisoners from Israeli custody as part of the Gaza hostage swap deal and ceasefire. Earlier, the armed wing of Hamas said it had decided to delay Saturday's scheduled second round of hostages release until Israel met conditions, including committing to let aid trucks into northern Gaza, and claimed Israel was failing to respect the terms of the Palestinian prisoner release agreed as part of the hostage deal.
Welcome. Welcome.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu closely monitors the operation to bring back to Israel a second batch of hostages freed from Hamas captivity. Netanyahu, along with National Security Advisor and other military officials, were at the military headquarters in Tel Aviv as Hamas fighters released 17 hostages, including Israeli women and children, as well as Thai farm workers, during the second day of the war's first truce, the Red Cross stated. Now, the official release happened later in the night after a brief disruption earlier to the deal to free captives was overcome with the mediation of Qatar and Egypt. The Israeli army on Sunday released a video of a 9-year-old hostage who was held by Hamas running into her father's arms as she was brought back to Israel after spending her 9th birthday as a captive in Gaza Strip the day before. Returned in the second group of hostages released by Hamas under the Qatari brokered deal with Israel, she appeared in good health along with fellow hostage Hila Rotem, whose mother remains in Gaza.
Because unfortunately, I'm the one who told her father that she has been found murdered. And a week later, I'm the one who told the father that she probably captured. So it's a kind of a relief for me that she's still alive, she's here, she's with us.
Amit Solvi, who is the chairman of Kibbutz Be'eri, where the Han family lived, expressed relief that Emily was alive and back, having initially delivered news to her father that she was dead after the 7th of October raid by Hamas. Solvi and other community members were watching video of the release of the hostages at the Dead Sea Resort, where most of the kibbutz residents were evacuated to after the raid. Hundreds of Palestinians welcomed freed prisoners in the early hours on Sunday in the West Bank. Footage appeared to show released prisoners being carried on people's shoulders as crowds cheered, clapped and waved flags in the street. The Israeli authorities released 39 Palestinian prisoners, including 6 women and 33 children, from 2 prisons as part of the second batch of the exchange deal with Hamas. The Palestinian news agency Wafa reported early on Sunday. Take a look. Right on your screens are the visuals, the celebratory visuals coming in from the West Bank. Israel-Hamas, a Palestinian detained freed by Israel under a hostage deal agreed with the Islamist group Hamas, reunited with her family on Sunday. Burn injuries which are the result of an explosion in her car during what Israel said was an attempt to murder in 2015. She was sentenced for 11 years in jail. Now, tens of thousands of pro-Palestinian protesters marched through central London on Saturday to call for a permanent ceasefire in the Gaza Strip, the latest in a series of similar weekend demonstrations in the capital since the 7-week war began. Saturday's rally took place during a 4-day truce between Israel and the Palestinian Islamist group Hamas, the first break in the fighting, but protesters said that was not enough. Demonstrators carrying signs such as "Ceasefire now" and "Stop the war on Gaza" walked peacefully along the march route towards the Houses of Parliament. Protesters carried Palestinian flags and held signs calling for a permanent ceasefire in Gaza. Some protesters chanted, "From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free." Aerial footage over the protest routes cities centre showed a slow-moving crowd carrying flags and banners. A police helicopter was monitoring the protest from above. UK-based Palestine Solidarity Campaign, which organised Saturday's march, said the 4-day truce agreed between Israel and the Palestinian Islamist group Hamas was quote-unquote only a brief and partial respite for the people of Gaza.
It's not enough, because as they're releasing Palestinian children, which we have to first of all ask why Palestinian children were imprisoned anyway, they're also equally arresting Palestinian children at the same time in the West Bank. So there's no stop. There's almost just the turnover is continuing. It's important to come out because we shout "Free Palestine," and I think we all believe that that isn't a statement, but it's a promise that we have to follow through on.
I don't think that we're being listened to by the UK government. I don't think that, the governments of other countries are listening to their people. The international community is trying to communicate the message that this is not acceptable to us. And so it's important that we continue to come out here in as large numbers as possible to communicate that message that, we do not support the decisions that they're making. We know that there is this temporary 4-day ceasefire, which isn't really a ceasefire. It's only 6 hours in northern Gaza. Within the first 2 hours, 2 people were killed, another 5 people were shot. People continue to try to move towards northern Gaza to see what they can, find in terms of their homes and their families, and they are shot. So it's not a ceasefire.
I think when you see the diversity of the people here, they don't have to be Arab, they don't have to be Muslim. Me personally, I'm not Muslim, I'm Christian and Palestinian. I think the message is like the general sentiment and of the population is that like something has to be done, and it starts at the grassroots, like people like us, but obviously they're the ones that make the decisions, and they also have to be held accountable, and they're put in put in positions of power for a reason. They have to echo their population's message to the international community.
After more than a month of Palestinian rocket fire and Israeli airstrikes, a temporary truce on Friday brought a rare silence over the Gaza Strip. With the ceasefire taking hold, displaced Palestinians, including those from heavily bombarded areas, cautiously returned to their homes. In the southern city of Khan Yunis, streets were filled with people on the move.
For the first time in more than a month, Palestinian rocket fire and Israeli airstrikes fell silent over the Gaza Strip at the start of a temporary truce on Friday. As the tentative ceasefire between Israeli forces and Palestinian militants took hold, some of the hundreds of thousands of Gaza residents who fled fighting decided to try and return to whatever was left of their homes. In the southern city of Khan Yunis, which has been housing thousands of displaced families, including from heavily bombarded northern Gaza, streets were packed with people on the move. Ahmed Wael told Reuters he felt happy and at ease.
I am going back to my home. Our hearts are rested, especially because there is a 4-day official ceasefire, better than returning to live in tents. I am very tired from sitting there, without any food or water. At home we can live. We drink tea, we make bread using fire and the oven.
The United Nations says around 2/3 of Gaza's 2.3 million residents are now homeless, including most of the population of Gaza City and the rest of the northern half of the enclave, reduced to a wasteland by Israel's assault. Israel invaded the Gaza Strip in an operation it says is aimed at destroying the Hamas Islamist movement governing the enclave, after Hamas fighters launched a surprise attack on Israeli communities, killing 1,200 people and taking hundreds of hostages. Palestinian health authorities say more than 12,000 people have been killed in the devastating Israeli assault that reduced swaths of the densely populated territory to rubble. Israeli planes dropped leaflets in the southern part of Gaza, telling residents not to attempt to return to the north, which it said remained a war zone and was not safe. Many Palestinians worried they would never be able to return. Ala al-Mubashar fled Gaza City. She sat with her children outside a hospital in Khan Yunis, watching others flood the streets.
I see people coming and going, and I swear my soul is crying. My heart is crying. I just want to go back, even if just for an hour, to see my house and the neighborhood, to see Gaza City and what happened to it.
She and her children have been living inside a school converted into a shelter.
I went back before the Jews set up a checkpoint. There was no neighborhood or anything. Everything was destroyed. What about the people? Where will they go? When there is a ceasefire, where will people go?
Once more, a Lebanese citizen, Rose Rostum, faces displacement as conflict spills across the border. She is a part of the 50,000 people, as per the UN, forced to flee due to clashes on Lebanon's border with Israel. This marks the third instance where conflict has uprooted her life.
Rose Rostem has had her life uprooted before. This time, she's among the some 50,000 people the UN says have been displaced because of clashes on Lebanon's border with Israel. On October 7th, a war started between Gaza and Israel. Hezbollah started firing at Israel, and we live near the border in a village called Burj al-Maluk. Then the shells began to land very close. And we have children. Of course, they get very scared. We couldn't stay in the house and hear the shelling and firing. We were frightened. We then went to Sidon, to my brother-in-law's house. It marks the third time conflict has driven her from her home. During Lebanon's civil war in the 1980s, she moved twice. The first time because of Israeli bombardment. The second was to flee Palestinian militant attacks. Lebanon is a nation of displaced peoples. The influx of Palestinians following the creation of Israel in 1948 helped spark the Lebanese civil war decades later. In 2006, hundreds of thousands were displaced during the Israel and Hezbollah war. Then came Syria's civil war in 2011, which led to the arrival of 1.5 million refugees. That, combined with the 2019 financial collapse, which destroyed Lebanon's economy, has left many without income or job. The combination of economic despair and the influx of refugees is sparking tension with locals. Meanwhile, many refugees, faced with growing hostility and low work prospects, are eyeing Europe and other countries. Rastem says her family used to be comfortable when her husband sold car parts, but he was forced to close up shop when the fighting began. Now she checks the news to see if her house was among the latest hit by rockets.
Now, brands based in the Western nations are facing the impact of a boycott campaign in Egypt and Jordan as the Israeli military continued its offensive in Gaza. Our next report tells you more.
This McDonald's in Giza, Egypt has seen few customers in recent weeks. When Reuters visited in early November, the inside appeared empty. That's because the fast food restaurant has been hit by a boycott over Israel's military offensive in Gaza since the Hamas attack on October 7th. The campaign has targeted Western brands in Arab countries over perceptions about pro-Israeli stances and financial ties. A sign in the window saying the franchise operator and its staff support Palestinians has done little to change those perceptions. Here's Ahmed Izzat, who lives in Cairo.
It is fundamental for us as people supporting our Palestinian brothers to at the very least stop buying the products that help the Zionist entity kill our Palestinian brothers in Gaza.
McDonald's has said it's dismayed by disinformation about its position on the conflict. Its Egyptian franchise has pledged $650,000 in aid to Gaza. An employee at the corporate offices of McDonald's in Egypt said sales at this franchise fell by at least 70% in October and November compared to the same months last year. Starbucks has also been targeted in the boycott campaign, despite the coffee giant saying it's a non-political organization. An Egyptian supplier to Starbucks and McDonald's says he's noticed client demand has slowed down by about 50%. Even smaller businesses are feeling the pinch too. Kiosk owner Issam Abu Shalabi says customers are demanding Egyptian soft drinks instead of products from Israel or the US. I see it as very wrong, he says. What does it mean to drink something or not drink it? Shalabi says if people really want to support Palestinians, they should fight alongside them. But Hassan Mahmoud, with Egypt's boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement, says the campaign lets people feel like they're making an impact and hitting companies where it hurts. This Cairo supermarket says it's had an uptick in sales because it replaced boycotted products with local ones. In Jordan, this grocery store has signs warning customers if a product is being boycotted. This customer says that if a boycotted item is picked up by mistake, she would return it immediately. Still, some remain skeptical about the effectiveness of boycotts. Take-up has also been uneven, with no major impact seen in some countries, including Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and Tunisia.
Switching our focus away from Israel-Hamas, now Derek Chauvin, convicted in George Floyd's death, was stabbed in federal prison on Friday, causing serious injuries, as reported by the Associated Press. Floyd's 2020 death triggered global protests against police brutality and racism after Chauvin, a white officer, knelt on the handcuffed black man's neck for over 9 minutes, captured on video. The Federal Bureau of Prisons confirmed an assault on an unidentified inmate at the Federal Correctional Institution in Tucson, but did not confirm if it involved Chauvin. Chauvin was reportedly stabbed by another inmate, according to an anonymous source and the New York Times, citing individuals with knowledge of the matter. The Bureau stated that prison employees responded to the attack, providing life-saving measures, and the injured individual was transported to a hospital. Well, that's all we have in this edition of the Bulletin. Thank you very much for watching. You have a blessed day ahead. This is me, Neha, signing off.
They picked my husband. He was tortured there for 2 years. He was enforced disappeared. We had no idea where he is. Within 15 minutes, we got the information that the whole area is